Nope.
Maybe.
Uh-huh.
Exactly what we were expecting.
Just the worst. Hello everyone, welcome back. We got another movie review. Nope is a yep, nope is dope. Got them out of the way. We don't have to say those. Everyone.
I wasn't playing.
Good. I just made sure that we weren't.
Not that I was gonna like trash the film.
No.
I just didn't. Yeah.
No.
Get all the cliches out of the way.
I still think Zach's gonna drop one.
Oh, he will.
But surprise.
He's gonna
Surprise
say.
bomb.
He's
I might be
gonna
cooking
say.
it.
He's gonna say spectacle. He's gonna say amazeballs. He's gonna say all kinds of things.
Fetch, one of them.
Sure.
Sure.
Yeah.
Nope. The new Jordan Peele movie, written and directed by him, starring his muse, Daniel Kaluuya, but also it has Keke Palmer, Steven Yeun, Michael Wincott, Brandon Perea. It's just a corny dude. And it's about the Haywood family and how they own horses, and they say they're connected to the black man in the Edward Muybridge horse video, which is the very first film thing ever, and their dad dies mysteriously by a coin going through his head, and then the plot unfolds. You know, you've seen the trailers. There's an alien, maybe. Who knows? We'll spoil it later. But that's the plot of the movie without revealing anything. This is his third film, so what'd you guys think?
We all know how much I love a good monster movie. A good Jaws up there. So this movie for me, like, the more I think about it, the more I'm like, this is maybe my favorite so far. I love this movie.
When I was watching it at the end, when the credits went to orange,
Yeah.
I was like, this was made for JD.
You sit there for a second and you leave the theater and you're thinking to yourself, it's like, now you're searching for something, but the more I think about it, the more I'm just like, this was just a great movie.
Mm-hmm.
A great, this is Jordan flexing those movie muscles that we all know he has. I don't know, somehow bringing something back, homaging it all at the same time, and I love the movie. I love all the performances. I know there are things that you could definitely read into it, and we'll talk about that later, but for me, this is just a great monster movie to me.
When you say it's your favorite so far, your favorort monster movie or your favorite Jordan Peele
my
movie?
favorite Jordan Peele movie.
Got
I
it.
think that this really, it's like Get Out, incredible. I know they teach classes about that.
Mm-hmm.
And also, we forget, we're 5 years separated from that movie. So, of course, we're going to look back at it so fondly. I love Us. I feel like I'm an Us defender. And I think this is just a really enjoyable, like I said, I'm going to keep saying enjoyable, like Zach's going to say spectacle. But, it's just a great movie. It's so well made. It looks awesome. It's like everything rolled. It's like a Western. It's a sci-fi thriller. It's a monster movie. It really is. There's a moment, maybe we'll talk about it later, where the score comes in and you're like, oh my gosh, this is a movie of movies to me. And the more I think about it, the more I'm just really loving it.
Retweet.
Okay, that's all he's gonna say.
It's shot on IMAX, so go see it on a big screen. It's beautiful. And it's one of those where you keep thinking about it and you're like, wait, that connected to that paid off at the end. It's just a well-crafted Spielberg-y 80s monster movie.
I mean, he name drops in some of his interviews, Close Encounters of the Third Kind and Jaws.
And they reference Poltergeist
and
in one
Poltergeist,
line.
yeah. But also it has E.T. vibes in it.
Yeah.
Especially in the flashback, which we're going to talk
Yes.
about. Yeah, I just want to shout out Keke Palmer and Daniel Kaluuya. They just rock so hard.
They're real good.
Yeah, and for Keke to be, they're both they're opposites of each other. Keke is so like over the top and goofy and fun, and Daniel is just so quiet, which I feel like we've never. I mean, he doesn't do that a lot now that he's this big star
With an Oscar.
Yeah, with an Oscar. He's never really. This is the quietest I feel like he's ever been, and that he gets to flex some acting muscles of hey, I can yell and I can give a speech and win an Oscar, but I can also be quiet and composed and have 100 emotions run through my face.
It reminds me of Josh Brolin's character from No Country for Old Men. It's just where he's just sitting, pondering what to do, and everyone else is just ah.
And I think Steven Yeun, He's always great.
Mhm.
This is like the hammiest I feel like he's ever been, and I love it.
The hammiest, but also the most serious.
Yeah,
since,
yeah.
Well, since Minari and
Yeah.
a few and Burning, Chris Nolan's DP shot this,
Mhm.
and the way they use the IMAX cameras to do close-ups. You don't really see IMAX movies
Yeah.
with close-ups because you only ever see like 1917 or like Interstellar with the wide shot
big,
and
wide,
just
moving.
crazy looking stuff. But the wide shots, or I mean the close-ups with IMAX is just like unnerving.
Yeah.
Especially there's one scene that we're gonna talk about.
Yeah, probably.
And it's just like deafening and scary, and
It's like a nightmare.
it's what would happen. Final thing before spoilers. The way the movie plays with eyes in this movie
Yeah.
is really great. And one good example is when Kaluuya is in nighttime and it's just like pitch dark and all you could see is his eyes moving around.
That was really cool.
Man, so good.
There's like I can't wait to watch this. Like really, this is so good. And the more you watch, the more you think about it, hopefully you'll love it even more. We have to talk about that. Everyone thinks this is an alien movie. There's UFO. The UFO is in the trailer,
Yeah.
in one of the trailers, and it's not. And it's like so fun that it's really just. I mean, technically, I guess it's an alien, but it's a monster,
It's a monster.
and it like full on monsters. Not in the way you'd expect. I don't want to give like too much away, But like by the end of it, you're like looking at it, you're like, oh my gosh, like this is. I was not expecting that level of a monster.
Yeah.
And so that really is that kind of like, and in the moment that like you find out, you're like, oh no.
It was very claustrophobic. That like whenever they suck up all the people and we see the POV of them, I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. It was gross and creepy and scary.
Good. Well, so what? And then you like in that moment you start thinking, you're like, oh, like you remember like about the beginning, you're like, oh.
Obviously, the eating is scary, but also the vomiting or pooping or whatever it's doing.
Yeah, the waste.
At first, it's like when it comes out of the sky, you're just like, "Oh, that's odd," and it kills Keith David. Yeah, shouts out to Keith David.
Yeah.
I love that guy so much. But when it comes back later and it's got the metal horse inside its body, and it's just like, I'm having a bad time. I'm gonna make you guys have a bad time too.
Yep.
Everyone's gonna be like, well, what does it mean? What does it mean? In some ways, it doesn't mean anything. But in some ways, it's as simple as predator versus prey.
Yeah.
And also, it's just about like how we treat other things on the earth.
Yeah.
Like if you think about it, the horse is barely like, yeah, they're still like using the horse and training it technically when they made the movie. But the horse is being treated very fairly where you compare it to other like Western movies where they were very much cruel to these animals. And then you think about the flashback with Gordy and you think, oh yeah, they were very cruel to that thing. Also, maybe something supernatural. We don't know. Don't know, but I don't want to know either.
I think you could do that. You could do making a name for yourself in history in the way that Black people have been erased from some of the like the Haywoods, like they that is their only claim, is like that's the guy, but no one really knows if they're related to them, and so they're trying to like, no, we want to put our name in history. We want to do it. There's also spectacle. There's also
lots of spectacle
which you could tie into Gordy of like, and into Jupe, and you say, what is spectacle worth? It's just a fun movie, and that ties into spectacle. Jordan wants to make a spectacle. He's like, I want to make a great movie that everyone's gonna love. And yeah, there are some things maybe you can pick up here and there, but it isn't like an Us or a Get Out. I think there's several.
It's a lot more popcorny, I guess.
Well, I think it's just like there are things that it's like, if you want to take it this way, you can take it that way. If you want to take it this way, you can take it that way. Like, which is cool. It's like let you interpret it the way you want to interpret it.
The director of photography in the movie,
played
by Michael Wincott, it's very much a Werner Herzog type of dude.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He's watching predators eat prey, and then he goes and then he goes to like actually see one out in the wild for real life, and then he's just like goes mad, and he's like, I gotta get the shot. I gotta get the shot.
The chimpanzee Gordy, there's some things, but it's like it's so chilling that whole scene. Like really is probably the creepiest part of the movie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And
it's
but
it's all in like from his perspective,
Yeah,
from
it's
Stephen
so
Yeun's perspective.
and
Like it
it's
just
so
is this.
good and so creepy, and I just it's like you
good
want to know more, but you're satisfied not having
You get
any
enough
idea.
to know that
Yeah.
Jupe thought since he survived the chimpanzee attack, that he could
survive
control the alien.
Yeah.
And so it's explained enough to where you
Yeah,
don't need it anymore.
yeah, it's chilling.
And also, he really likes Chris Kattan. That monologue made me laugh really
Oh,
hard.
that was so good.
Oh.
So good. How many? All right.
How many spectacles?
No.
How many spectacles?
Get out of here.
What's wrong with you?
Leave. You don't get to rate it now. How many balloons out of 10 would you give this movie?
Okay, I love this. I'm gonna give this I'm gonna give it like a 9 out of 10 balloons. I love this movie. I can't wait to like watch it more, understand it more. I'm already thinking like all about it. I haven't even been listening to the two of you. I've just been thinking about it.
9 balloons out of 10. It's a spectacle to see, but also it's a lot to think about. And just like us, we're like in the theater, I'm like, man, I'm loving this, and then afterwards you're like, I think I like it more, maybe. So I'll probably change my mind in like a month, but until then, 9 out of 10.
Yeah, I'll go 9 out of 10 as well. I was just thinking about how 2022 is just a great year for movies. I mean, like, but also this movie is it's just a fun show. It's a fun show. I think about when I used to watch movies with my grandma, and she'd be like, "That's a good show." She called everything a show, and this is a show to me.
It's a good show.
Yeah.
Good show. I really kind of honestly thought that the Scorpion King
I
hoodie was gonna push it to 10 for you.
Oh, almost. I love Scorpion King, so unabashedly love rock movies. I don't care how bad they are.
That means The Rock exists within this movie.
Yes.
I would have loved to cut to him and be like, "That's wild." Just like watch.
I did love the use of Sweet Dreams, the way it was.
That was
used in
real
that
cool.
One scene.
He loves his slowed down. He did the same thing in Us with
Yeah.
I
got 5 on it.
That's it.
But yeah, that's it. I see you. You see me. You're seeing us rate this movie. All four of you. Thank you. We'll see you next time.
Un esercito di prodi